down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious.
So my story began far from here. It began in a beautiful city called Pachuca, Hidalgo, Mexico. Kind of give you an idea of where that's at. It sits right in central Mexico. So just like right in that picture, and that little yellow dot, that's where I'm from. And this right here, this is the monumental clock of Pachuca, which is the city's icon. And like I mentioned, right in this city, right in this beautiful city, this is where I was born 31 years ago. And I have some pictures of me as a baby. Here I am, just adorable, right? I am the firstborn, and my parents decided that they wanted to expand our family. And so 2 years later, they anxiously awaited the arrival of their next baby, which was a beautiful baby girl. But there was something different with this baby. There was something my parents were not expecting, they were not ready for. And you see, as parents, and being one myself now, we're not completely equipped to do this whole parenting thing. We're not giving a manual or a handbook on how to do it perfectly. I think most of the time we're just kind of figuring it out as we go, and for me, I think I'm just kind of winging it, every day. But as if parenting wasn't hard enough, my parents were now faced with the reality that my sister was born with a disability. My sister was born with bilateral microtia. And so that means that my sister was born with no outer ear. And right here, there's the top one is the condition itself. So there was no ear. And the bottom one is a picture of my sister. And so due to the severity of my sister's condition, my parents were told that there was a high probability that my sister would not be able to hear. Obviously, because there was no opening, she would not be able to walk or talk. And so how devastating for you to be told that your child, your daughter, would not lead a normal life. How devastating. But in life, we have two choices. We either do nothing or we do something. And my parents, they wanted to take action. They wanted to do something. And over the next 7 years, my parents, they put their careers on hold, and they dedicated themselves to classes and therapy and doing whatever was possible to get my sister in a better place. And my sister, sure enough, was beating the odds. Soon enough, she was able to hear with the help of hearing aids. She was able to walk, talk, and dance like no other. She was excelling in all areas of her life. But the fight was not over. Soon my sister started outgrowing her hearing aids, needed to continue with classes and therapy, and unfortunately our financial situation would not allow this. It just wasn't possible, not in our country. So my dad, he made a hard decision. He decided that he was going up to El Norte, up north to the United States, but he was going to do so undocumented. And he was going to go to the land where the dreams are a reality and opportunities are endless. He was going to do so on his own. He was going to leave us behind for just a little while. Things were going to be better at home, and that was the plan. So off he went on this dangerous journey, one that took several weeks. And at first, we didn't hear from him. We didn't know if he was okay. We didn't know if he had made it. And I remember this. I was 8 at the time. And perhaps it was the innocence of an 8-year-old, or I was completely clueless as to how dangerous this journey truly was. And I remember I told my mom, because I would see her often with this worry and concern, and I would find her crying in her room. And I would say, "Mom, everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to be okay. Things are going to be better." I don't know how I knew this. I don't know how I felt this, but I did. I knew things would be better for us. And so, thank God that a few weeks later, we finally heard from my dad. He had made it. He had made it across. It wasn't easy. It wasn't quick. There were a lot of challenges, but he had made it. And so the plan was for him to be gone for just a few months. He would work, he would send us money, and our situation back at home, it would improve for sure. There was no doubt about that. Pretty simple, right? But our situation was not improving at home. Our situation, in fact, was challenging. And I remember there were times that we didn't know where our next meal would come from. There were times that my mom would fear that we would lose the roof over our heads. And if that wasn't enough, if that financial struggle wasn't enough, we were also dealing with this void, this emptiness of not having our father, this emptiness of my mother not having her husband, our family was incomplete. How are we supposed to make our life better, improve our life back at home, but we didn't have this key person in our life? It wasn't happening. So 9 months later, my parents, they made a decision that we would also join my dad up in the United States. So on September 9th of 1997, my mom, my sister, and I, we packed a bag each. A bag very similar to this one. And in this bag, we packed, if I can get it open, we packed, some shoes, we packed some clothes, and I could not leave these behind. I was a Barbie girl. These Barbies were making it across with me. They were going up north with me. I would not leave them behind. But you know what else this bag represented? This bag also represented the hopes and the dreams that I had. That dream that I would reunite with my dad once again. That dream that we would have a better life. That well-known American dream. That's what this bag represented for me. So we packed up, we finished packing, and off we went. It was around 3 a.m. when we took off, and we did so in the middle of the night because we knew that it would be, we knew that it would be too difficult to say goodbye to our families. We knew that if we had to give an explanation of why we were about to do what we were going to do, it would be just too painful. It would be too difficult. So we took off. And so over the next few days, we made our way up north, and we finally came to the border. And at this time, we attempted to cross a total of 3 times, 2 of which were unsuccessful. And the last and final time is the one that I remember the most. And I remember it because I was 9 at the time already. And there are things in our lives, and I think that we can all agree that there are things in our lives that happen, that we remember, that we hold on to, that change us, that make us mature at a younger age. And this was a crucial point in my life. It was the last and final time, it was in the middle of the night. And we were told that so it was in the middle of the night, it was dark, and we were told that we had to leave everything behind. So our precious belongings, this precious bag that I had packed, it was no longer coming with me. I had to leave it behind. And all we had to do was run until we made it across. No looking back, just run. And so at this time, it was my sister ended up losing one of her shoes. And she hurt her foot, so she could no longer go on. And there was a gentleman nearby, and he had offered to help my sister. And of course, my mom, we were already in this risky situation, and my mom was pretty hesitant. I don't know this man. Could we trust him? What are his intentions? But at the same time, you have no other choice. He is your only option. If you want to get across and you need help, this is the person. And so this is what I remember so clearly. It was my sister up front being carried by this gentleman. And then it was my mom right behind them both, watching him like a hawk. And then it's me at the end, and I'm running. And I'm running for my dear life, because at this time, I didn't want to lose that woman that was running in front of me. I didn't want to lose my sister. I did not want to lose out on the opportunity of reuniting with my dad. So I ran. I ran as hard as I could, and we made it. We crossed the border. Thank you. We made it, and over the next few days, we continued to make our way up north, and finally, on October 8th of 1997, we reunited with our dad. This was a moment, a time full of joy, and that's a picture of my sister and myself with, I don't know what I was doing with my face there, with my dad, and a few other pictures there, and so it was a time of joy. It was a time where we hugged and we kissed and we shared things that we hadn't shared in so long. This was the person who, everything that we had gone through, it was worth it because our family was together once again. And so here we were. We were in a new country. It was new language, new people, new everything. The only people that we knew were us, ourselves, just our family, no one else. And so over the next few years, we continued with school. We went to school, learned English, and still probably learning. And we tried to live the best as best as we could because we knew that this was our home. We knew that this was our new life. It was challenging, but this was our new life. There was no turning back. And my parents always pushed us to do our best, and we always try to do our best. Not perfect by any means, but we were doing our best. My sister continued with classes and therapy. She was able to upgrade to better hearing aids throughout the years. And she actually was even granted a reconstructive surgery for her ears. And so this was something that she had wanted her whole life. Finally able to wear earrings and all this cute things that girls do, right, with their hair and showing their ears. And so these were things that's one of the reasons why you had to come to this country. And we were living our life here. But I have to admit that there was this underlying fear. There was this underlying uncertainty because of our status. And it was something that we were more aware of as we got older, as we started to get a driver, others started to get their driver's license, getting a job, going to school. Opportunities were missed because we didn't have all these things because of our status. And so I started losing hope. Those dreams and those hopes that I had as a little girl, I started losing that. I started losing that vision for that American dream was not for me because of our status, because it was something that was not accepted. It's unacceptable. It's frowned upon. Nothing I can do to change that, right? And so here we were, and it was challenging for many years. But I'm proud to say that in 2013, I had the opportunity to become a dreamer. I became a DACA recipient. And this was a new policy that allowed me and thousands others who had come here as children to be here in this country that we call home, to be here and go to work and go back to school and continue to expand that vision that we have for ourselves. And this opportunity, it wasn't free, it wasn't easy, it came with many requirements, and it wasn't permanent. But you know what it gave me? It gave me hope. It gave me the ability to dream once again. It made me believe that that American dream was real and that it was attainable. That's what it made me believe. I continue to work on myself, and this is something that being a dreamer, it still continues to do for me. I continue to dream. I continue to invest in myself in order for me to be the best for others, for me to show up. And recently, this dream has been threatened. It's been threatened for various reasons, and I wish I could tell you that I had the answers, and I could tell you that I know what's going to happen or what the future holds, but I don't. And there are many times that fear and that uncertainty, they try to creep in again. I'm human. I live with that fear and that uncertainty from time to time. But you know what I remember? I remember that in life, we have two choices. We either do nothing or we do something. We either allow the uncertainty and that fear to consume me, or I either allow it to push me to do something great for myself and for others. And that's what I choose. Those hopes and those dreams that I said I was carrying with me, I choose to carry that with me because my dreams matter. Not only as a dreamer, but also as a mother, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, as a friend, as your friend. And I want to leave you with this. I hope that you keep this in mind for your own dreams, because I know that each and every single one of us, we have that. We have dreams that we don't want to let go of. And this is what I call the 3Ds. That with every dream, there are difficulties. And with every difficulty, we have a decision to make. That we either allow our difficulties and our setbacks to hold us back and be bitter, or we allow them to make us better, to not give up on our dreams, to make those people around, make others around us better, and keep going. So I encourage you today, don't give up on your dreams. Thank you.
Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies.
Weren't they wonderful? Let's have another hand. Take a bow.